Welcome back to another episode of Built for Legacy. I am your host, Suheyl Hernandez, and today I have the pleasure of being here with Luis Camejo, a representative from Lennar. And welcome to our show.
Thank you, Suheyl. How are you guys doing? It's awesome to be invited, to be honest. It's really nice.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. So this show is about showing people how you can do it, how you can achieve things, how you start. That's what this show is about. This show is to be able to give everyone that push and that help that a lot of people need when they think that they can achieve it. So that's why it's an honor to have you being a representative at Lennar and having such a high sales volume. I would like to know a little bit about yourself. Do you have children? How did you get in the industry?
Well, first off, thank you so much. And honestly, I think stories are always very peculiar. It's very interesting how it happened for me, and I'm actually extremely grateful for my story. I was actually, and this is how things change. When and now that I've been in the company, I'm going to make 6 years next month. I actually started, and it was a very interesting scenario. I was 25 years old. I actually was living at that time in Orlando, and I applied was for Lennar, but there was a position opened up in Jacksonville.
Okay.
So by the time they actually got back to me, which is about 6 months later, I was already moved back to Miami. So the position was still for Jacksonville. It just happened to be that I spoke with the administrator over there in Jacksonville, and I was lucky enough to get an appointment here in Miami. And then, a couple of interviews later, thankfully, I was able to get the position. But I always tell people, it was just trying. I tried every year for 4 years to get the position because I knew, given the opportunity, I think putting effort and all that stuff is going to really change. It's been, as I said, almost 6 years now. I've been extremely grateful. In that time frame, I've gotten married. I've had 2 children.
Oh, wow.
I bought my first home. It's been a very, thankfully, successful and very thriving 6 years. And honestly, I tell people the same thing. Before this, literally, before I got this job, I was selling memorabilia for a sports company. So I think a lot of it when it comes to sales in general and just this type of attitude is, man, just you got to learn how to work. That's the thing I always tell people. If you're willing to put effort in, I went from selling signed basketballs to, thankfully, multi-million-dollar homes. And yeah, it was a bit of, you got to learn the industry a bit and everything. But I think the core was just to literally wake up every day and work, pretty much.
It's funny that you say that because that's usually what I say. I say, you got to get up and you got to give it your all because nothing falls from the sky. And it's not that you're lucky because people say, oh, look, they made it. They're lucky. Yeah. No, they're not lucky. They worked their way there. If every time that I would have taken a no for an answer, Phantom Real Estate, SuheylHernandez.com wouldn't exist because I've had falls too. So it's funny because I'm glad you said that. And that's exactly how it is. Don't take no for an answer. Get up every day and follow your dreams because that's what you need to do.
I could not agree more. Everything you said, because I truly believe that people have this idea that they're going to trick themselves into success or that somebody got there because of what in this position or, sometimes I'll see people, in our industry, which is involved sales, oh, no, but this is this person. It's they're connected this way. None of that matters. At the end of the day, you have to present every day. You have to show up to work. People have this idea that, no, it's just because, no, nothing, at least in my opinion, I think most people's things is given. Everything is because you've earned it, and earning it requires every day. It's a consistency of working at it. And then, and just, as you're saying, not just there's going to be tough times. You might sometimes want to quit. You might be overworked, overwhelmed. But if you piece those days together after a few months or a few years, you're going to see not only is it going to change, but what seemed to be lucky opportunities actually become more routine because it's not luck. It's the fact that you exposed yourself more and then you worked harder. So honestly, could not agree more. And then, and just as my perspective from what I've seen you guys been able to do, it's been impressive. I've worked with you guys already for a few years and it's a different monster, and you can tell it's because anytime here in Phantom and you as a person, you guys have just really like just kept grinding, which I think is such a huge thing where people feel like, oh, once I get to this level, I can just stop. No, you still have to continue, and you just keep trying to build upon yourself every day.
Well, I'm glad you noticed it, and that means a lot, because sometimes we think that people don't see it. So I wrote my first book, and my first book is called Built for Legacy. And it's funny that you say, oh, I got here, now I want to stop. So no, I don't want to stop, because I want to build a legacy. I want to be someone that everybody sees and says, if she did it, so can I. And I want to be somebody that can help people out there. And so it's funny that you say that we keep grinding. And yes, I'll tell you something funny. So Mike tells me that if I invent one more thing, he's leaving to Thailand for 3 months with Mikey. That's his threat to me. And Mora and Jenna say that while everybody sleeps, I'm thinking. And then I show up here with an idea, and then my ideas scare them. Well, my ideas are what brings all this stuff to life. So yes, I'm always grinding, because to me, I've always said ever since I was a little girl that the sky is the limit. And there's nothing that I've ever written to one of my kids that doesn't say that. The sky is the limit, and you can achieve anything that you want in this life. Anything. Like I say to people, there's pianists that are blind. There's people that fight jujitsu that have no legs. So how could you tell me that they can't do it and you can't, right? Oh, I'm not lucky, or I have the worst luck in the world. No, you're lazy. Exactly. You're lazy. Go after what you want. If you want it that bad, you're going to go get it. So
I mean, okay. There's a term I heard sometimes somebody say this, and I always feel like it's one of those things people don't realize. I have a person that kind of mentored me when I was a bit younger, and I respect him a lot. And he used to always say that people think that opportunity presents itself. It's not. It's because you expose yourself to opportunities. So yeah, what you're saying, like there's people that have, I mean, I don't want to say everybody, but for the vast majority have had much harder difficulties and have achieved the summit of all their dreams. I think doing that just requires that type of mentality, that type of idea of, yeah, man, it's easy. It's nice to be comfortable. It's nice to sit at home and watch on TV. But at the end of the day, yeah, if you work at it, if you have that hunger, which really is what I think people don't realize, it's just like, you really want to just succeed, you want to do something. Not to use anybody an example, but like a lot of these times where you see like these artists, where they've become these like worldwide phenomena, and then you find out they're from, you know what I mean, a small little family, and my favorite right now is Bad Bunny, so like small little, so I think it just all involves working at it, piecing every day together. I always do think, and this is always my opinion on stuff, where it's like a lot of time, even just the routine of putting the effort in is what's going to end up succeeding. Where sometimes it might not even connect the dots. And like, I'll give you my example for sales. Like a lot of times I'll go in and I'll work 60, 70 days a week. And you don't think, okay, maybe that week you didn't get a sale, or it wasn't the sale that you were even working that week. But people see that. People see that effort, that knowledge that you pick up on it, the experience that you get. So then you're able to get experience faster. You're able to get ahead of stuff because you're putting in that effort. And then, yeah, I will say something, at least from what I've seen. I'm telling you, everything you guys have done has been super impressive. And I do think it requires a level of just, yeah, hunger, man, just going at it every day. There's something where I think, as you're saying, like people are like, oh man, how could somebody do this and that? It's because they were put in a position and I wasn't. I don't know how much of that is actually true. I think a lot of it's the position you put yourself in. And I think, I mean, it comes to show how people have been able to succeed.
So I'm glad that you say that, and I believe that he has a sale with you, and I'll say his name because I don't have a problem. I have an agent here that his name is Andy. Okay. He's 22 years old, and he got here from Cuba a year ago. Yeah. He's done a sale with you, right?
Yes. No, and yeah, okay. He's done the sale, and he's already brought another few people. But yeah, he's done the sale already.
All right. I pay that young man minimum 5 to 6 rentals a month plus his sales. And people are saying, oh, he's so lucky. No, I gave him a plan. I told him what he had to do. He took it, he ran with it, and moved on. I'm never going to forget the first deal he closed was a rental, was an efficiency. He called me. It was a Saturday or Sunday, I don't know. And he's like, I'm so sorry, but this. And I'm like, don't worry, I got you. I'm going to help you. And he just took off running. So why do I bring him up? Guys, how many people were not born in this country, are completely bilingual, have thousands of people in their contacts, and then they can't rent an apartment? It's not that they can't rent an apartment, it's that they don't have the willingness to do it. They don't have the desire. They're okay with just settling in the position that they're in. And listen, if you want to settle, that's perfectly fine as well. If you're okay with where you are, that's fine, because what's good for me is not good for you. What's good for you is not good for me. So let me tell you, so if there's a realtor out there and he's just doing regular sales, in the street, do you recommend for them to try to get a position with a pre-construction?
I have been extremely lucky in that position. I think it's, once again, it does require a level of work where I think it's a different animal. I do think being on my perspective, we'll consider outside real estate.
Of course.
Requires a level of like self-discipline where it's like you're the one that has to go out there. You're the one that has to kind of get the bull by the horn. Being with a developer, you do have a bit of luxuries of that. But it does require just a very intense work ethic, where I think it has great benefits. I've been relatively, I think I've been very successful with it since I've been in the company. And I have seen a lot of my coworkers be very successful. At the same time, I do think it requires a mentality knowing that, like, I work every weekend, for example, so I haven't seen a weekend off in almost 6 years. Unless it's like a vacation or something, but every weekend I work holidays, on days off, having to come in and sometimes show up to the office. It is a different because you are like a source of information for so many other people, and it's for volume. I do think, there's benefits to it. I work for a huge company. The amount of knowledge that I've picked up in the last 6 years, I think is insane. But yeah, it's a give or take. I would recommend it for most people. I just tell people you also have to remember that it's a very different animal altogether.
It is.
Than doing outside real estate. And then you do lose some of the benefits of outside real estate, like independent hours and things like that. So it just depends. I've cherished my time with Lennar. I'm extremely grateful for the time that I've been with it. And I don't see myself ever leaving. But it's just a different animal to how to work it. Yeah. And one thing I want to mention, just because I really like that story you said about Andy, because I think Andy not only is a great guy, but it's just to come to show, like, the idea that the no fear aspect I thought was so cool, which is the first sale, the first rental. Not only was it the fact that he was doing the rental and calling and he was willing to make a mistake, but the fact that he picked up an efficiency is my favorite part.
That's exactly how he started.
Because it's the fact that to come to show where, like, man, just throw yourself out there.
Of course.
Nothing is too low, nothing's too ugly. Just go at it, work it, and then you'll see. And it comes out. It comes out after years of work. But I love that. I love hearing that type of stories where, the first time I got it was an efficiency, or the first time I got it was, this was the sale took but you worked it. You made it. You did a lot of stuff. A lot of people would say, nah, efficiency, why had it? Look at it now. Look how he's doing.
And that's how he started. And I admire him so much. And he's such a young man, right? Because most people that are out there hustling are, their late 30s or early 40s, 50s, whatever. But he's a young man. He really is. And his story, his story is impressive. And I talk about it all the time. And again, I talk about it because if he can do it, so can you. And this industry is hard. Let's not sugarcoat it. This is a hard industry, whether you're a realtor with a brokerage, like, all the ones that we have, or you're with a developer, and everything has its pros and its cons. And let me ask you, if somebody wants to reach out to you directly, so whether it is a realtor or a buyer that wants to purchase a property with Lennar, could you share, like, your social media and your phone number with them?
Of course. So my phone number, I do a lot of things through my phone number. It's going to be 786 786-702-6197. Once again, that's 786-702-6197. For the social media content of it, I'm actually literally just started working with a new marketing company.
Okay.
Because I kind of want to switch it up a bit. My profile is at camejo.fuentes, realtor.com. That's pretty much my whole brand right now. But I think I'm going to change it up just a bit because I'm trying to focus on some new marketing, social media
That's
strategies
fine.
that are out there.
Everything. That's another thing that people have to understand, that everything evolves.
Yes,
okay,
adapting
everything
is-
evolves, and you gotta listen. Things change. You gotta run. I remember, and I'm sure that you know, because you know a lot of people that know me. I would tell people, if you turn on that camera in my classroom, I'm kicking you out. And today I have a podcast. Today I have a podcast and a TV show. It's
That's how
like,
things have changed.
okay, so, I either roll the bull by its horns or I was going to stay out. And I wasn't willing to stay out. So, yes, that's the story. And I'll bring some of the agents in here that will tell you, oh boy. And I would tell them, you turn on the camera, you're going to get kicked out. You're out.
You're out of here.
And it was the fear, but it goes back to what you said. No fear. That's it.
Just
The
go for
fear,
it.
the only thing the fear is going to do is hold you back in life. So face your fear, face your challenges, and the same way we've been able to make it, so can you. So is there any final words that you would like to say?
To be honest, there's one, because of the fear. Once again, I love that mentality and that positivity and stuff like that. But I want people to be aware that that's always a part of everything you're gonna do. Is you're gonna fail. I've never met anybody that's 100% successful. Like nobody's batting 1,000. So what I mean by that is that fear that you're mentioning. Yeah, 100%. I think it's once you get over it, once you realize that it's part of that. Where there's actually, I think you pick up even more stuff sometimes when you fail and you do stuff and you kind of work the system around, than actually succeeding sometimes, I think is the perfect mentality to have. And know that I'm very appreciative that you've welcomed me here today.
It's been my absolute pleasure. Now I'm going to piggyback right off what you just said. And there's another big confusion with success. People think that success is only money.
Yes.
And that's not true. That, at least in my opinion, I mean, I respect everybody. I personally love money. Yes, I want to have a private.
Nobody gets sick of money, so I think
I personally love luxury purses and shoes, and I love it. So I love it. I'm not criticizing it at all. But success is not only money.
That's true.
Because financially, we are not where we wish we were. We're not complaining. We have no problems. We thank the Lord, and all the hard work that we've done. But I feel that I'm extremely successful because we achieved starting with one agent. We're 200 plus. We left a franchise. We kept 132 out of 135. And success all depends how you want to relate to it. Yeah. And I relate that we're successful. So just don't think that because your bank account doesn't look the way you want it to look, that you're not successful. You're probably more successful than people that have millions and billions in their bank account. So,
No. Yeah, 100%. And I think growing something like this, what you guys have achieved is so impressive. And seeing it from the other side is how you relate to it, how you see the name populate in other places, how you've seen it it's just the way I see it now. It's the influence that even I, on the developer side, see it. And it's something that it's not just the intangible, but it's also the tangible, which you guys have created. Yeah, success is not just measured in finances, and it's also measured in personal growth too.
Of course. And now that you said that, you mentioned something before we started the podcast about Phantom. Can you say that here? Because I didn't know that, guys. I swear, I didn't know. And he told me, and I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, so I'll be very frank. Since I've been in Phantom, the actual name Phantom is about 1.5 years.
A year and 9 months.
A year and 9 months. I can honestly state that, at least in my side of it, I've seen that name populate at least with like a sale a week for the last, I don't know, maybe year, which I think is so impressive. Because you see a lot of these agencies that state, oh, we have 500 agents, 1,000 agents, but that doesn't mean anything, but a lot of those agents don't produce. You don't see those names out there. The fact that I've seen you guys be, without a doubt, the top 5 agencies in the last year is so impressive. Seeing your names populate with all different types of products and all different types of communities, is crazy, because every time I see it, I get a bit of joy seeing the success of it. And it's been really impressive to see for the last year.
I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for letting me know, because I honestly
No,
I
it
didn't
populates
know
all
so.
the time. It's really, I mean, I think I'm gonna put a count next time I see it, because every time I see the name, I mean, I can't do it because we don't do it by brokerage like that, but I promise you, it has to be top 5 in the last. I would say in the last year plus. I would say in the last year and a half. I would say it's about that.
You see? So it's not about money. That just brought me joy into me, and that is success. So thank you again for joining us here. And I mean, it's been a pleasure and an honor. By the way, guys, this wasn't planned. He was doing a presentation, and I said, let's jump in for a quick episode. And he was down, and so was I. So that you run with it, right?
Of course, that's how it is.
So thank you once again for watching another episode of Built for Legacy. Remember to hit subscribe, like, and share this with someone that needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you, guys.